Penny Lou. I think my dog tipped over. I'll go see what she's up to. There's no one here yet, so. No, you cannot. Oh, no, you don't. Are you really? She's eating a centipede. Are you seriously doing that? She's eating a centipede. It's like centipede season in Florida. They're all over. But you're not supposed to eat them. Look, oh my gosh. Or a millipede or a centipede. Look, she's having like a, I don't know what she's experiencing. Because I think they have poison in them. The centipedes, don't they eject like a venom? I don't think it's a poison that'll kill her, but I believe they eject a venom out of their shell or something. And that thing is in pieces now. What are you going to clean it up? Was it yummy? Oh, you guys can't see. There's no one there. Everybody's away for Easter. All right. Oh, someone's there. It says 0 people. Hello, Desmond. Grand Rising. Um, it says 0. Oh, now it says 1. I guess it takes a while for it to click. So, yeah, I've been putting off getting on here. Let me fix this camera. You don't have to see everything. And then finally, the other day, I was going to do one. I was going to do a live, and my father's coming and going now too as well. But my mother was coming in and out of the scene, and it just, I mean, she wasn't doing anything wrong. I got 2 cameras, but I don't necessarily want people, my private, you know, my mother's a private person too, so she probably, if she had all her mental capacities, would probably not want to be on the camera either. She was on because she didn't realize. So I ended up deleting them, and I ended up not saying much. So, but anyway, let's see. So, well, happy Easter, everyone. I was going to actually go online now and see if I could find an online mass. I promised myself I would go to mass today, but here I am. I still could go, but I don't feel like going out. I want to be home with my parents, and so I'm going to look online now. Is everything okay? Did you recover? She just ate a centipede. It's in pieces on the floor. I got to go pick it up. Don't eat centipedes anymore. I think they have a venom. I know that, but I don't think it's not a venom that's going to kill her. But she was like making little yicky faces, wasn't she? Oh, she's such a good girl. You're such a good girl, except when you're bad. Well, I don't have anything planned to talk about. Oh, did someone else come in? My regulars. Ariana. Oh, hi, Ariana. Actually, I don't remember if I met you before. Yeah, that's my little dachshund mix. Kind of a rescue, not really. She was never in a dire circumstance, but she probably would have ended up being put down eventually. It wasn't like, but anyway, I got her before it became an issue. So yeah, she's a rescue, but she does not have a sad story behind her. So she still deserved to be rescued, though. I won't blame her for not having suffered in life. Because it would be like, people say, oh, well, like when people compare their experiences, oh, yeah, but when I was young, I had to do this, that, and the other. So I can imagine a rescue dog, a dog that's been through everything and finally finds a forever home, would look at her and say, you rescue, you haven't heard what a rescue is. She's so spoiled. She doesn't even know that she's vulnerable. She's 6 pounds and she's mean. She's nice sometimes and she's mean sometimes just for no reason. So, she doesn't know that she's not supposed to be mean, and no one's let her know that the world is dangerous for her. No one's ever stood up to her. Well, I've stood up to her with my voice and all, but, or, I'll put her in the cage, those kind of things. But, she's too little to really, you can't get rough on her. She's just too little. I mean, there's nothing I can do that wouldn't, that would make her listen. Because sure, I've given her a little spanky on the tush, a little like that. But that's not, she's like, she laughs at that. And I'm not going to go harder than that. When you start toying with that, it gets to levels that you don't want. It could escalate. I don't want to even go there. That's my thing. So here she is, a mean little doggy. But I did take her to the trainer, and he gave me some advice, not on how to change her behavior, but on how to distract her when she's going to attack you. And I did learn some techniques that help. So I can distract her temporarily while she's being vicious, and it sometimes works. And sometimes even that doesn't work. But what's saved her really overall is because she's a little dog and she's easy to, control. If she were a pit bull or something, I would not have even given her a chance to bite again. And she has bitten again, not as badly as the first time she bit me, but you know. But yeah, I just always say, well, she's little, and and now if she bites me, since I know that there's always the risk, I should be more careful. But and I can risk it because I know she can't kill me, or not likely. I guess anyone could, get lucky, but there's really no danger to me. But there is danger, for example, to a small baby or a little child. That there is danger there. Maybe not of death again, but of serious injury. You know. Anyway, so I can't be completely at ease with her, but she's topples over. She has a neurological disorder. I don't know if you're new and know the whole story. Oh, okay. Oh, hello. Good morning, Brian. Brian from Rhode Island. Did you used to live in Boston? I'm wondering if you're the same guy that I'm thinking of, but I don't. I knew a gentleman named Brian that I met on YouTube years ago, but actually, that's not the same last name he had now that I remember. So, but he lived in Boston. We met through the sewing connection because I had a sewing channel and he had a sewing channel. So back then I was in the sewing circles, and then I got into the crafting circles, and so yeah, we exchanged a few. We even back then, and we couldn't make money back then on YouTube. We even talked about having like a show, or and maybe him doing his show, me doing my sewing show, and then we might do a collab, and but it was just for fun back then. It wasn't for, oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Anyway, yeah, those were nice times, and I guess you could still find those organic communities on smaller video platforms. Before they become well known. Vimeo at one time was that one. Like when YouTube started getting really, but Vimeo was already kind of commercial around the time YouTube was. They were kind of, but it was still not as well known. But yeah, I'm sure there are unknown video platforms, just like YouTube, but smaller, less powerful servers or whatever, where you can still find that small community. People just stumble upon communities. That's how it used to be. Because the smaller communities are now harder to find on YouTube because they're over. We got the sponsored videos that pop up on your screen, and then you could pay YouTube to not get advertisements, but you're still having to put money in for the organic experience. Is it really organic then? Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't even mind a little bit of small town advertising is kind of nice. It's kind of cute. It's like, but yeah, YouTube has now become, internationally, it's not the same. But there's always going to be a new platform, and there's always going to be someone else starting a new platform because when the platforms get too big, it's like, oh, you always want to go back to the basics. So somebody else is like Etsy used to be that. Now Etsy is this commercial thing. They even allow third party, it's now commercialized. It's still trying to keep that, organic small town crafting feel. But it used to be local, um, mainly local. What do you call it? Economy. Uh, but then you have other. There's always going to be another one that wants to get back to the basics, and then that's the new thing. Until that one gets big, and then just do another one. And then add your little twist. The internet is, as long as it's open and free, you really can do whatever you want. But yeah, then when governments try to control it, like now with TikTok, see, I started going on to TikTok because Instagram was getting too restrictive for free speech. And I'm testing the limits. I'm doing a few things with what I'm doing. Those of you who following me, I'm pushing the limits of free speech. Of course, some of the things are seeming, oh my goodness, but we've got to push to the limits. Otherwise, we can't say anything. And that was happening on Instagram, even worse than now before. But now there's a little more freedom. But even so, it was getting too restrictive. And they ended up, taking down my channel. So I had no choice. But I was already feeling the restrictions. And then TikTok, the one that I thought was restrictive, because I'd post something and they would block it. They would put it in black and say against community guidelines. I'd post this against community guidelines. And my whole page was against community guidelines. And so I was starting to get mad, but I had not done anything about it yet. I said, oh, TikTok. So, of course, with China, it's from China. Of course, they're restricting everything. Of course, I threw that in too. In hindsight, it turned out to be wrong, which is why I'm saying, because TikTok is China, I believe, owned by China. Now there's something I've been kind of following. I know that the U.S. wants to ban it for some reason. And I actually haven't been following that as much as some people have, because some people are making their money on TikTok. I guess because I'm not. I figure, okay, well, if they ban me, I'll just open something somewhere else, But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I find TikTok to be more liberating for free speech. Oh, I'll tell you what happened. So they, blocked all my stuff against community guidelines, and I was already prejudging that it was because it was China and that they were oppressing us, and but then one day I decided, okay, I'm going to sit down and see, what's going on. Why are they blocking? Because okay, great. I do have to question myself. I know that I was pushing the limits and all. Um, so then I clicked on the ones that they blocked, and there was a thing that says appeal. So I said, oh, well, it won't hurt. I'll try the appeal. Again, of course, they're going to reject my appeal, and they're still going to block it. Yeah, Daddy, I'm on the, hang on. I'm on the camera, and he can't hear me telling him. See, that's why I don't feel comfortable doing lives. Daddy, oh, all right. I don't even know how to mute this thing. Hang on. Okay, shush, Daddy. All right. See, that's why sometimes I don't want to do lives at certain hours, because now they've just gotten up. My father's gonna make. Oh, I don't know if you saw him wander through here, and my mother has dementia, so she will sometimes wander through, and I just don't feel comfortable. My father. No, well, see, my father, I can't tell him he's on camera because he's deaf and he's not wearing his hearing aid, and even with his hearing aid, he doesn't hear very well. So, is it consensual? They're on camera without their consent. Here he comes again. Hang on. Is he back there? He's going back. Yeah, now my mom's talking. It just gets very. Uh, Hang on. Oh, are we hearing me? Testing, testing. All right. Sorry. Okay. Oh. Well, I'll open it, Daddy. Hang on, I'll do it, Daddy. I'm sorry. You got it? Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. So they really are not giving their consent to be on camera, and they have the. That's the other thing, because you've got all these laws. They have a reasonable expectation of privacy in their home, you know, and I should be warning them. I guess I should put a sign up. So I just put that thing up behind me, that kind of, and say filming or something so that they see it. Then that would be informed consent, I guess. But so it's not so much that I mind them being on my, camera. I don't, but they're not capable of understanding that they're on camera. That's my concern. But yeah, that's what I'll start doing. I'm not going to do it now, but for the next time, I'll put a sign. And then of course I could clean up the garage and move back there, but I have a few things I have to do. Oh gosh, yeah, my life is kind of a mess. It's an upside down mess right now for a few things, but the mess is in my head, not so much in my circumstances. But I got to sort out some things in my head. Uh, and yeah, then that's another reason I avoid coming on lives when I get like this, and when I'm very obsessed with politics, I try to avoid coming on camera because I just wanted to, and I'm not going to talk about politics now. Except, what was I talking about before I just got distracted? Let me read the chat. Oh, we haven't met yet. Okay. Good morning. Second assistant in a movie filmed in January. It got selected for Saudi Arabia. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, well, what is the name of it? Put the name of it and the links, put all the links. Um, what was I talking about before I got sidetracked? I was telling you a story. Does anyone remember? And then I got sidetracked. I'd have to rewind. I'm sure I'll remember it. I have one person watching now. See people come in, chat, and leave. Um, I had the dog. I was talking about the dog. I put the dog down. Then I was talking about how, people have it worse and then they argue. Completely forgot. Oh well. Yeah, Katiana, if you're still there, put the name of the movie. You know, Let me see. Saudi Arabia Film Festival. Oh, let's look that up. Let me share my screen. Present. One second. Present. Share screen. New tab. We're gonna go there. Share the new tab. Okay. Saudi Arabia Film. I've never even heard of the Saudi Arabia Film Festival. Red Sea Film Festival. I wonder if that's what it is. Is that it? The Red Sea Film Festival? Well, that would be 2023. 48. Well, that sounds interesting. Red Sea International. Well, that was last year, 2023. I don't know if it's the same thing. Okay, March 4th. No, yeah, that would be the latest. Well, that's interesting for people who like movies or are into film and movies. And I have two people here. Katiana is a film, director in the film industry. Uh, and then there's, I forget his name in real life, the reporter who was living in Turkey. Now he's living in Italy, Poetic YY. I forget his name in real life. He's a, reporter, like a real reporter. I mean, like not just like a little reporter, like a YouTube reporter. He reported on, big radio programs and I think TV too. If you're there, Poetic YY, forget your name in real life. And we actually met in person once when I was living in the DC area. He happened to be coming through town and we met up. It was during the, oh, I wanted to go get bubble tea. It was during the pandemic. And the place where I suggested we meet was closed for the pandemic. So we went somewhere else. But oh, that bottle of, I had a bottle of, and I left that up there in Maryland, but it's still there. And I was telling him, do not use it, you know, the oil. Uh, the olive oil. Yeah. Oh, anyway, and so it's still up there. We would use it and we would use it sparingly. But as it turns out, eventually, even the purest, most virgin, extra virgin olive oil eventually goes rancid, doesn't it? So now, when I visit again, and it's been a few months, last time I visited, that stuff, I hid it in the cabinet so that it wouldn't be just like every day. Because he would grab olive oil that he'd buy from the supermarket and he'd use it for cooking and he would dump like a gallon in to cook. So I said, I can just see him grabbing this thing and dumping it. So I hid it way in the back in the cabinet. I said, this is just for like salads and but it's so well hidden. I wonder if now it's going rancid. I mean, we had to, or if he found it and started cooking with it. So, oh my goodness. I'm not even going to bring it up. You know why? I'm not even going to ask him because if he's already discovered it, it's too late. And if he hasn't discovered it, I don't want him to discover it. So let's hope. But I'm going to go back up there. What's the matter? Oh my goodness. Stop it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you were just outside. She's barking. She's barking. So sorry about that. Anyway, so what are you guys seeing? Actually, let me go back and look at the chat. I haven't been even paying attention to you guys. Yes, it's always that feeling by Gigi Hosiman. That's it. Oh, the Red Sea Festival, April 2024. Uh, it's always that feeling. Okay, I'm gonna keep searching. It's always that feeling. So you're only seeing. Okay, you're not seeing the two tabs. I gotta see what you guys are seeing. You're only seeing. All right, let me give you. So you can see what I click around to. Let's see. Tell me if there's an echo or something. So share screen. Select tab. Yeah, I don't want to select the tab. I want you guys to see as I click around. There's no way to do that. All right, well, Red Sea Film Festival. It's the window or the entire screen. Then you would see every place I click. Okay, I think that's the one. So as I click around, I'm hoping you guys see that. I still don't know how to use this thing. Hang on. Let me see what it looks like here. Oh, hello, any Twitchers, by the way. Good morning, Twitchers. If I have any Twitchers on there. I'm streaming to Twitch. So I might have one or two Twitchers if I have anyone at all. So I'm just checking to see what you guys are seeing. Let me go to YouTube on my phone. YouTube. I go here. I'm so sorry. There's my channel. Ramble Scramble, right? How come I can't see my channel? Your channel. There we go. Okay. Oh, here we are. Okay. Okay, yes. So you guys are seeing channel. There we go. Okay. Oh, here we are. Okay. Okay, it's pretty good. Okay. I don't want to confuse anyone. All right, good. So let me look at the chat and then we'll Got sidetracked as usual. All right, we're gonna look that up. So the name, it's called "It's Always That Feeling" by Gigi Hazi Hozima. Gigi Hozima. Okay, "It's Always That Feeling." It's it's always that feeling. You know what? I'm just gonna put it into Google. I'm sure that'll. Oops, no result. Okay, I'm just gonna put into Google Gigi Hozima like that. Okay, let me close. Gigi Gigi Hadid is the actress. No. Hozima. Oh, okay. Oh, that's her. She's pretty. That she studied raised in a conservative Muslim household. Oh, that's an interest. Wow. Oh, and it's Women's History Month, so I'm going to post it on Facebook. Not today. I already posted today. I'll post tomorrow. Um. Oh, isn't that fascinating? Inspirational women in Hollywood. It's Medium. Oh, it's all the way from 2021. Here it is. Always that feeling. I'll read all that. Look at her. She's known. Okay, feature film. That's the one where. Hmm. Lights, camera, action. I want her to become famous and make me a billionaire, like Grumpy Cat. Okay. She has 134 followers on Instagram now. Okay, it's always that feel. I'm not wearing my glasses, so here I'm gonna put her back here. Oh, you stay there. Are you good? There. All right. It's about the project. Look at the walls. You guys seeing it? Okay. Okay, about the project. Seeking talent from Philadelphia. Oh, wait a minute. This was casting. Oh, this was back when they were casting. All right. Well, this is before it was actually posted. Oh, that would be interesting to read. It's always that feeling, an experimental chamber drama feature synopsis set in the Philadelphia Harry's 40th birthday party is complicated by a sudden loss that will unearth past traumas, test his relationships with closest to him. Sorry for scratching my head. Test his relationship with those closest to him, and challenge his understanding of himself. Harry's wife and partner, together they put on numerous plays and lived a life that, while unconventional, is thrilling and exciting in ways she never could have anticipated. But their bohemian idyll is broken irreparably by the sudden loss of their daughter. Oh my gosh! As she works to navigate this new normal, Dahlia finds her marriage tested by an old wound, her husband's prior relationship with Maya, an old friend and colleague who will be having dinner with them. My father's talking. Okay, Maya is Harry's friend and ex-lover, and the character through which we first get a window into his world. Maya is the process of grieving for her boyfriend Marcus. Oh wow! They're both grieving. He's grieving his daughter, and she's grieving a boyfriend that I guess passed. When she's invited to Harry's 40th birthday, unless she's grieving the breakup, it sounds like he died. While their romance has long since ended, their banter with Harry and his wife Dahlia remains awkward. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cute. So small, three characters, or three main characters, or three characters. Look at the Wall Productions, an art house independent film studio founded in New York City in 2013 by film director Gigi Hozima. Our promise is to reintroduce cinema as art and produce art house cinema that captures, stimulates, and challenges film lovers. Our passion is to produce quality films through the language of cinema. Yeah, you know, you sometimes you go in with that, but then you have to make a living, too. So it's an art but then when you have to depend on your art as a living, sometimes you do have to do other things. But that's nice. This is so far still keeping within, it is possible to do both, be creative and keep with your personal aesthetic, I guess they call it. But but yeah, that's a nice, goal that they have. She was recognized as an inspirational woman in Hollywood. Yeah, I'm gonna post about this tomorrow, Monday, because today I posted some political stuff, and I'm trying not to overpost because when I get political, and it's Women's Month, and I'm angry, and whatever you feel about whatever, I have my views, and I'm just posting all kind of angry stuff, and so. But this will be an uplifting post about women for International Women's Month, and she has an interesting background. I'm more interested because that's kind of what's been on my mind all these past few. So how did you meet her? That Katiana, that's fascinating. Really, you were in the business, or you applied online, or that's really, because it's hard to get connections in your field. For moving on up. Um. Oh, but the actual movie now, that was the casting, so that was before it. Now it would be interesting to see how true they stayed to their original, which I'm sure she did. But sometimes in the filming, you run into things. Oh, we won't be able to do it after all because XYZ, especially in a smaller budget film. You know, like maybe you had only one day. The I don't know how small budget it is. It sounds like it's not millions and millions. Maybe it is, but I'll look more into it. But like if you're a small film company, okay, maybe the producer had just enough to pay for all the bus fares for the cast and equipment to get to X location, which they're able to use for 5 hours to take advantage of the sunlight. But they got to get it filmed that day, period. Because if it's not done, they're over budget, and that's the kind of thing. So sometimes you get to the location, everything, and then something happens and you couldn't film what you wanted, and then you got to work it out, maybe decide, well, we got to change the movie now. So that's, kind of or give up on a certain aspect to keep true to the message you want to send. Like maybe it really doesn't matter. You wanted the scene to be at X location, but as it turns out, you'll have to do it in Y location. As long as your message is still getting through, that's part of the art. I'm not a filmmaker or anything, but it works that way with whatever art form. You're sending a message. Whether you're a filmmaker, you're sending a message through your film. If you're a designer, a fashion designer, you're sending the message through clothing. If you're a painter, you do it through your painting, your sculpting, your music. So the creative process, that's something I did learn going to fashion school, which I never finished. But the creative process all comes from the same, and there is a theory that you won't stop an artist. If the artist can't get through to you this way, he or she is going to get through to you another way using a different, anyway, it gets really deep. But yeah, if you study that, if you study something, what class did I learn that one in? Was it sociology? Yeah, see, now it's all a blur because I took a lot of courses and I never finished, and I was just learning a lot of stuff, and it was cool. But it's kind of now the stuff that I retain the things. I don't retain what class it was or what it did, because learning is supposed to be I think, or for some people, maybe I'm not saying it's supposed to be. Maybe that's how learning is sort of holistic. It's there's a better word than holistic, but it's sort of, it gets into you. You don't necessarily need to understand that this is grammar and this is math, and logic is a combination of grammar and math. What you say has to actually make sense. That's the math part. You don't need to understand all that to understand how to use it, you know. But I'm blabbing and going off on tangents. I don't remember what I was talking about. Word of mouth, still a powerful business tool. Oh, okay, yeah. Word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth is one good way, actually, because the reputation in the industry as you get known. Speaking of, for example, I mean, not to be putting a damper, because in your case it was good, but the the armorer for the movie set for the Alec Baldwin movie, where the what is it for Rust, where the assistant director, I don't remember, was killed. That armorer got the job by word of mouth, which in that case, maybe I wouldn't necessarily, well, word of mouth, but she was new. Okay. But they weren't, yeah, okay. But the difference is they didn't pass her off as, well, yeah, her father had this great reputation. That's a whole other thing. I just like, and I think the girl was just too young to handle working with such a big star. She just got a big head and thought she could be whatever she wanted to be, and didn't take her job seriously, is part of the problem. And some might be against what I'm saying, but it wasn't 100% her fault, though. But her pride and her big head was her fault, thinking that she was this great, when she wasn't even doing her job. I keep not looking at the right camera. um so I really feel for her, because I always feel when people are young, I kind of give them that. I'm like, yes, she's an adult, but she's still, when you're in your 20s, you still haven't figured out a lot of stuff. So, and you think you're invincible still, and yeah, I could do this job with my eyes closed. I'm so good. You get, and that cockiness, which tends to go away as you near 30. Maybe after 30, you got kind of humiliated a couple of times and you realize, oh, yeah, because you think, oh, I'm so young. These old people don't know anything. I was like that. And yeah, there are certain things that we may not know, the latest technology or the latest, social media uh, thing that, but there's basic wisdom that you don't get from anything but life, living and relationships and, stuff. So anyway, and you think you think you know everything because you haven't been proven wrong yet, because you're only in your 20s. So some of you are never that way, but always listen to the old elder. Take with what they say, and agree or disagree, but always remember that older people are sometimes trying to wake you up. Anyway, so that I went on that other tangent, but thank goodness in your case it was good and you got that great job. And not to be, it has nothing to do with you, but it made me remember, uh, you know but yeah, your reputation, my point is, your reputation is everything. Now, who's going to hire that young lady as an armorer now? She came in at the top. She you know yeah, one would, someone with a low budget might hire her now, because saying, okay, well, she had that experience, I doubt she's going to make that mistake again. Somebody who maybe, we'll see, maybe 10 years down the line. I'll tell you why. Because it's so strong, the gun connection here. I go on another tangent, and I'll tell you why. Because I went to a gun, it was like an introductory gun thing once. I didn't touch a real gun. I touched a fake gun. I had no intention of buying anything. I was curious because I'm not a gun owner, never had a gun, never really thought of getting one myself, but I have in recent years now understood why some people really are so for the, more so than I used to be. I used to be like, I don't care, I'm never going to buy a gun, whatever. But now, things happening politically and all that, I'm now realizing why some people would think it's important to have the freedom to bear arms and all that. But anyway, my point is, I was curious. It was in, what year was it? Well, it was even before I moved up to DC area. So let's see. Maybe it was when I came. Anyway, 5 years ago. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. It was when I got back from DC. No, it couldn't be, because I don't remember the timelines, but let's say it was after the pandemic, or was it before? Why? Why is it a blur? Because you'd think it must have been after, but then that it wouldn't have been because I came back in 21 and we're in 24 now. Yeah, it could have been in 21 after the whole pandemic. Yeah, I could see it being in 21 now because it was after I woke up during the pandemic and that whole mess. So, and I was starting to realize that safety was important. Personal safety was becoming important. So, yeah, so I went to this show, because investigate, and it was kind of a nonpartisan show. Uh, it was a mostly conservative people went, but it wasn't political. It was more about the issue, the safety issue, because we were starting to see during the pandemic how things were kind of going. So whatever. Oh, one of the speakers, they had speakers of the area that had either a gun, they might have a gun business or a training range, a place where you could learn and take lessons and all. Never signed up, never went back, never. But anyway, they were talking. So this gentleman owns a gun range, where he teaches gun shooting, and stuff. How to do it, legally, how to get your permit, all legal stuff. And he started out with the story of how his own son shot himself with one of his own guns. Can you imagine? So I thought to myself, like, I don't know, I'm not so like into the gun thing, but the myself, I would think, well, I think that's a sign to stay away from guns, and I was wrong. And but anyway, he didn't feel that way. He said, and that happened to me. And even so, and he explained, I kind of didn't listen because I kind of couldn't believe it. So maybe his explanation does hold sense. I didn't listen to his reasoning. I think at that point I was so amazed that he would still own a gun range or whatever. But I guess his explanation was basically that. I think it wasn't an amazing explanation. It was basically, who better to teach you. I think it was. I don't think he used that. I don't think he said it that way. I mean, I don't remember it being a shocking response or anything. I think, but he's still 100 pro gun, pro gun freedom. Responsible gun ownership, all that stuff. So in his case, it was a few minutes of poor judgment. He explained it. I don't want to go into detail, but it was, yeah, I could kind of see the situation where he's like, oh, it's just a minute. It'll be fine. You know, yeah. Again, I'm not going to judge. And if I don't judge as a person, my religion, let's turn to Christianity. It's Easter. I'm not supposed to judge. So anyway, he has that. And, I did consider, oh, maybe I should take a few lessons. And then I said, nah, I mean, it's not for me, but I do believe someone who is able to, who goes through the psychological testing and make sure that they're, you know, yeah, sure. I believe they should be able to access guns freely, which I didn't used to care. Now I do care, with the appropriate, follow up, background check, all that stuff, of course. Show your ID. If people want you to show your ID to vote, you should show your ID. I don't know. I've heard you can buy a gun without an ID. I don't know how true that is. I can't believe that's true. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. There's got to be some way to check it. But yeah, you should have to go through the background check and the. But see, here's the thing. Now they're going to say, oh, well, if you have to go through, now this would be, I'm guessing Black people might be saying this. Well, if you have to, Black people who believe in gun ownership, freedom of gun ownership, they'll say, well, it's not fair because we know that in the, and I believe that too, in the courts, many times what they will give a worse charge to a Black man than they will to a white man sometimes. So maybe one will get a felony and a white man might have done the same or similar crime and gets a misdemeanor. So automatically, felony, you can't own a gun. A misdemeanor, you can. So I don't know what the stats are, but that would have to be checked to see if it's unfair. But yeah, I kind of believe that if you've been found guilty of a felony, you should at least not be allowed until you're what do you call it? You've paid your due. If you finish, serving your yeah, but then, maybe your felony was attacking someone with a gun, a violent crime. If you're found guilty of a violent crime, I think you should never be allowed to ever have a gun again. Maybe if you're found guilty of a felony, but it wasn't violent, it was embezzlement, maybe we should let you have a gun because I don't know. Anyway, let me look at the chat because I didn't do anything I said I was going to do, did I? Oh, word of mouth, still a powerful business tool. Okay, so yeah, we were going to look up the actual movie. She was born in 1982. She's Saudi American. Was her father maybe an American soldier or something? Let me see. That she studied abroad, raised in a conservative Muslim household. Hozima is her last name, so her father must be Muslim or Arab. So her mother must be black. I'd like to see her parents because she looks black, but mixed. I'm thinking, or is it Asian? She's very beautiful, but now I'm trying to figure out what her ethnicity is. Is that her? No, that's not her. That's someone else. Account. Regular. Oh, anyone on Instagram? Wow, that's just nice, dog or and my dog is great. Here, I'm still sharing my screen. Okay, I think the connection. Are you guys still there? All right. Well, that's me, and my dog is at Life 2022. Okay, let me look. Well, that's her Wikipedia. Really, I read Wikipedia, but always take Wikipedia with a grain of salt because people go in there and switch it around to what they want. All right. It was the dying wish of Gigi Hozima's mother that she study abroad. Raised in a conservative Muslim household, Hozima left Saudi Arabia in 2002 to pursue higher education in filmmaking in the United Kingdom, and did so without speaking a word of English. She graduated with a bachelor's. Wait, she got a degree and everything without speaking English? She graduated with a bachelor's in television and video production from Southampton University. Oh. Starting out as an on-screen presenter for TV in London, England, Hudson would eventually move to New York City to start her career in filmmaking. There she founded her production company, Look at the Wall Productions, in 2013. Hosey's feature debut, He Belongs to Us, 2017, is a psychological horror film shot on location in New York City. He Belongs to Us was selected in several film festivals. Oh, okay. Yes, she must have a very fascinating viewpoint. Citation needed by Authority magazine. In 2022, for the first time in over 20 years, Hosima returned to her own country, Saudi Arabia, as an honored guest of the 8th Annual Saudi Film Festival. Okay. Yeah, no, Saudi Arabia has been making advances on women's freedom and women's rights. And, I speak badly about Saudi Arabia sometimes. I don't like the Saudis, but you know what? I mean, if they're pushing the women's stuff, or even if they're not, but she's one, they invited her back. They gave her honors. That's encouraging the empowerment of women, whatever. Even if it's a little drop in the barrel, that's something. So, I'm always gonna call it out when I just, yeah, but I badmouth All right, anyway, that fat Saudi prince, I can't stand him. I don't trust him as far as you could throw him. All right, anyway, I'm gonna get myself fatwad. Okay, that's my father. Let's not worry him. Um, so anyway, I want to find the actual movie. So that was the feature film. It's always that's the audition. Okay, here's an audition. Oh, that's the same thing. Oh, we just saw that. Okay. Um. Oh, but this is different because it's saying the ethnicity white. So Harry is supposed to be white. The Maya is supposed to be multiracial, European descent, ambiguous or multiracial or white. And Dahlia could be anything too. And then Jenny can be ambiguous or multiracial. Okay. Um, films have been. All right, let me stick to one thing because now I don't know what to. Now I want to find all this stuff about her. You know how? Am I even online anymore? Is this on? Oh God, StreamYard. I don't even know if I'm on anymore. Testing. Oh, okay, I guess I'm on. Let me know if I'm on. 2 people. Okay. I'm gonna follow her on Instagram. Let me do it from my phone. Oh, I was gonna put and then my dog on Instagram is this one at Penny Life because I call her Penny 2022. Make her famous. She has 134 followers. Give her 135. Let me go here on my Instagram. What was her name again? Gigi Hosima. I'm going to follow her from my other one, not from the dog. My dog only follows other dogs and sometimes children, famous like children models and stuff. Petit Bois, but not many. I'm sorry. There's some kids that do skits, and they have all these followers, mainly female followers, but women that are just like we feel like babysitters or something, or like we feel like aunties. Some of them call themselves aunties, and it's true. You see the kids every day. They'll be doing a skit, or they'll be showing their outfit of the day or something. And at least I feel that the energy there is aunties, like aunts and godmothers and foster. It's like we feel like we're helping raise the kids. That's how I feel about it. So there's 2 or 3 that I follow that are like that. And they make money and it helps raise them. The money they're making, you got to be careful with that though, because then at what point is it you making the child work, and then they have rights there too. So you have to be careful with the kind of family channels. But, if your child is on camera and you need that money to raise the child, I don't know. It's sort of like how sometimes Jodie Foster, for example, the child actress who is now grown, she supported her entire family. They were extremely poor. I keep looking at the wrong camera. So at what point, and the other little girl who ended up committing suicide, it could throw a kid way off. Someone has to be concerned for the child's psychological well-being, because the other child who did that, she played Buffy on A Family Affair. It was before Jodie Foster. It was like a generation before. She ended up getting into drugs at a very young age, and in her 20s, she ended up dying of a drug overdose, which is basically suicide. It was an accidental overdose, I believe, but if an accidental overdose is suicide, because you're playing with death there. So in my eyes, it's just my opinion. Uh, so, in Jodie Foster's case, she turned out all right and everything was fine. Shirley Temple, that worked out for her too. She ended up having so, but in the case of that young lady, I don't remember her name, but Buffy from A Family Affair. Yeah, so it could go badly. The other girl, who's now seems like she's getting it together, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, fame at a young age can be very, very difficult, especially if you're supporting your family. My point being, these kids on YouTube, if they start feeling the pressure that they have to do it, because we eat because you're doing, that's where it can get kind of. And as we saw what happened with the 8 passengers lady who ended up getting, I mean, she was completely whacked. Of course, she didn't. Even her viewers didn't know how far she'd taken that. But all right, what's going on? But jeepers, I don't even know if I'm online anymore. Did I turn this thing off? Am I even online anymore? Am I talking to myself? I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me. If you guys are there, I guess you guys are there. I don't know. Like I was blabbing, and then if it's happening before, I'll be blabbing. I'll look and I'll realize the thing had cut off like 2 hours earlier. So, but it looks like you guys are there. Just somebody post in the chat. Just let me know you're there. It looks like you're there. It says there's 2 people. All right. Anyway, where was I going? Let's find this girl, Gigi Hozima. Oh, somebody liked Gigi Hozima. Gigi. And I was going to take a friend out to lunch. Hozima, there she is. She doesn't have a blue check yet? She should. She deserves a blue check. I guess that's her, though. Gigi Hozima, artist, independent film director and writer. I'm going to follow because, followed by Katiana Renee. So I know it's her. And then here's a link to her IMDb. Gigi Hozima is a Saudi filmmaker and director based in America. Her most notable features are He Belongs to Us, 2017, a psychological horror film, kind of what we read before. And That Abandoned Place, an art house drama. Born into a large family and the youngest of 10 siblings, Hozima lost both parents while still a teenager. She was allowed to study film abroad in England on the condition her oldest brother accompany her, neither of them speaking English at that time. Afterward, with the support from her sister, Hozima graduated with a bachelor's in television. Hang on, I'm sorry. And video production from Southampton University, and then continued her studies at Kingston University, earning a master's in filmmaking. See, there's the kind of the Orthodox Muslim, only if your brother goes, which is understandable. No, I mean, that part I don't mind. The protection of a woman is, I think that's a good thing. It can go too far though. That's where it gets, but that part, I actually, that's one part of the Muslim culture. I like it even almost better than comparing it to the Latino culture. It's a little bit more, when done properly. No, you're a young lady. You're going to be I mean, she was already how old? 23. All right. Like I said, sometimes in your early 20s, you might still be a little immature. So I can kind of see a father still, or a brother, in her case, her brother, being a little bit active, but at a certain point, you got to let go. Anyway, I jumped because that's the part that I'm, that I'm focusing on. Born into a large family, blah blah blah. Okay, mastered in filmmaking. First and on-screen television presenter for Alla La Mia TV in London, England. Hosima moved overseas to New York City to start her career in filmmaking. There she founded Look at the Wall Productions, named for a wall in her studio apartment adorned with movie posters from which she drew her artistic inspiration. Her feature film debut, He Belongs to Us, was released to a warm reception in 2019. One critic described her as one of a kind of her generation, the first Saudi film director to make an art house horror film. In 2021, Hosima was named an inspirational woman in Hollywood by Authority magazine. Her sophomore feature, That Abandoned Place, also garnered several positive reviews among film circles and was awarded Best Sound Design at the ninth annual. An ad just popped up. Oh, an ad popped up and so not fair. Wait, an ad popped up. All right, hang on. Continue. It won't let me finish. It won't let me finish reading it. But anyway, it was interesting. An ad popped up and messed it all up. All right. She reminds me of like an Arabic Tony Tennille. I guess, well, in that picture, she's got her hairstyle the same way. There's nothing else. Well, but like kind of the facial features, kind of a little youthful. I mean, she's young anyway, but she'll be the kind of woman that looks youthful even in 10, 15, 20 years. She'll still have a youthful look. She'll get older, she'll have wrinkles, but she'll still look youthful with her natural features, it appears to me. Same as Tony Tennille. Maybe that's what I'm. And also, yeah, the hairstyle is similar to Tony Tennille. But what's she over here? Steve writes, yeah, look at her. Okay, I'm going to follow her. I haven't followed her yet. Oh, yes, I am. Follow her. Okay. So, yeah, I can see where I can see the actual movie. 1 second. Can we buy it? I'll buy it. I'd like to show that. Well, that's the problem. See, if I have to, it's going to be copyrighted. And that makes sense. Because if I'm showing it on my channel, I'm getting all this traffic and I'm getting all the good stuff from somebody else's movie. So it makes sense that it would be copyrighted and that I couldn't do a watch party. But I wish there was a way to do a watch party, but that everybody get what they deserve. But the only way we could do it is if we all buy the film individually and each watch it on our own at the same time. I don't know. Oh, well, here's what we could do. We could all buy the film. That's an idea. And we all watch the film, but not online. Like we'll be ourselves online talking about the film, but we won't show the film online. We'll be watching the film at our house individually. Then that would be legal, I think. But we'll watch it at the same time so we can make comments to each other about it. That would make it fair. But anyway, so I'm still looking now for that. See where I can see. So the name of the movie again, I've already forgotten it. It's Always That Feeling. Oh, it's coming in April 2024. Yes, so I'll have to see where I could see it, if I can buy it online. But it's coming soon. Okay, as soon as you have links, Katiana, or whatever, I'll keep watching out for it too. But I'm going to post about it tomorrow. For sure. What else? Well, I don't have anything else to talk. I was going to tell you something, and then I got tracked. I never ended up telling you that story. Something about the dog, I think. But anyway. All right. Nothing else to talk about then. Thanks, guys. Another live next Sunday. Days usually I'm more free. But there's really nothing. I would go to Argentina in June. Anyone who's interested, keep in touch with me or whatever. Or posts. Well, just posts on the comments and I'll read them at some point and we'll figure out how to connect. I don't know. I don't know if you have a way to post to me privately. But you could find me if you know my name. You could find me and send me a DM or something somewhere. Not to my email. I don't I don't even check my email anymore, to be honest. Unless I know I'm expecting something and I go fish through all the junk I get. I even put the filter on to keep the junk mail out. So now all my good mail goes to the junk mail. So it's all junk in my eyes. Unless I'm expecting something, it's all junk. There's like one or two things I expect every month. I go in each month, I fish them out. I might happen upon another email by coincidence. But I just am so done with that email. I've had it since 1996, I think. I opened it, before email was ever even really used by people so commonly. And, back then it was great. And now it's just pure junk coming in. And I always use that email because I know it's my spam email now. So every time people ask me for my email, I give them that one. Then if the relationship prospers, I give them another email to write to. Okay. Anyway, so I let out my secret. Okay, so no new questions or anything. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Look up that movie coming out in April. It's called It's Always That Feeling by Gigi Hozima. I'm gonna post about it again myself. Bye everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Bye Twitchers. I didn't forget you. I know you're there. Bye everyone.